Guys, good afternoon. Beano here. Not much else to do on this frigid Sunday afternoon in Melbourne. It's been a rather chilly one with a polar blast coming across from Friday. So let me get into this Simucube 2 overview, which I promised a while back already. As you might be aware, I've been awaiting arrival of my new Simucube mount. This can accept Me servos, it can accept Simucube 2 Pro, Ultimate and Sport. It can even take my large AKM65 servo as well as the Botner SS2 range of AKM servos, and then also something like my lens, for example. So this is quite a nice bracket. I've designed this myself, and I've also included even buttons for starting and stopping the PC, resetting the PC, and then on the other side remote start for the Simucube 2 series of wheels, as well as my emergency stop button. But that hasn't been wired yet, but it will come pretty soon once I put the PC in a new case. So just onto the True Drive control panel. A few settings I'm running here. The Simucube 2 Pro and Sport is lacking a couple of filters that is available in Ultimate, but the basic ones that you need access to is here. And overall strength in this instance I've set to 25 Newton meters. So running at 100% here, my steering range is 900 degrees. And then if we look at the other filters like Simucube Reconstruction, I'm normally running at 5 to 6, which is really good on the Simucube 2 Pro. It gives you a good response. It takes a bit of that sharpness off the peaks and valleys that you'd find with that noisy force feedback signal in iRacing. Torque bandwidth limited is unlimited on this setting. And then damping 20%, friction 15%, and inertia 25%. Static force reduction, as you guys know, it's a pretty important filter if you want to get all the dynamics from the track coming through, the curbs, the bumps, etc. But you still want to reduce the torque going into this high-speed turns. You can set that to 10% or 15% or even 20%, and that's the amount it will reduce your overall strength by. But in my case, I prefer running, let's say, this more moderate to higher torque levels. Slew rate in this one is off as well. And then ultra low latency I'm running at 10%, and at that sort of level it gives me total stability, no oscillatory behavior on the steering wheel. The direct input effect settings in iRacing doesn't have any impact. You can set them to whatever you like. I just leave them at defaults. They have no impact to the performance of the wheel itself. Alright, and then just something else, bump stop maximum effect strength in my case I set to 40%, and then the bump stop angle at 15%. I disable most of these audible notifications. I don't really want to hear them. I don't need to hear them. I've been in direct drive wheels long enough to know that when I should let go of the wheel and when not. And also hands-off detection sensitivity in my case is disabled. But if you're new to direct drive wheels, I would advise that you keep that enabled. Alright guys, so that is it for the settings. I will be back shortly. Let me start iRacing and then we can do a few laps and I'll give you some overview after. Cheers. Alright everyone, back for this test. I'm running the Moocedes GT3 around Mt Panorama in Australia. And so as you know, it's a pretty spectacular track. Very challenging, and the reason why I chose this is just to show you guys. I know on the internet there are a couple of videos that shows guys going batshit crazy when they're running 19 or 20 Newton meter force feedback on direct drive wheels. So I will just want to do away with that sort of feedback that you guys receive. I'm running, like I said, about 0.76 to 1 specific output here, 100% in the force feedback setting in the true direct drive, and something like about 33 Newton meter setting here. So it will give me 20 Newton meters actual force. And only reason why I'm not running higher force feedback is going around this specific track with the Moocedes, you might start inducing some clipping in some critical areas. And this is one of the reasons I prefer this Ultimate wheel above the Pro, is just having that extra torque overhead. So I can run a little bit higher force feedback without running into clipping. But alright, this is pretty good. It will be a decent experience. So let me take the Moocedes. I'll take a slowish out lap. And then I'll give some feedback whilst I'm driving and after as well. Let me just get the volume down a bit, otherwise it will drive me insane. Oh, that's better. Now I can hear myself think as well. This is a very challenging track. It's not much forgiving at all. If you make mistakes, you'll be into the walls. Those of you that have driven around here knows that it's a pretty challenging and demanding environment. So you've got to focus all the time. If you lose the car, it will be somewhere into a wall and your race is over, and not only yours but probably the guys following behind you as well. I guess getting maximum pace and best possible times out of here, you've got to really use all the tracks, get pretty close to the walls. I'm not an expert driver on this track myself, but I'm always out having a bit of fun around here. It's you against the track. Doesn't matter how good a setup you have, one tiny slip up and tiny mistake and that's it for you. Something I immediately notice about this Pro wheel, it really communicates very well with you. It allows me to feel once the car starts to be overdriven, it starts rolling over the tires, and you can feel that transition when you actually go too hard into the corners. Also, slip angle is something that is communicated pretty clearly through to your hands. And it's rather effortless, even at the sort of 20 Newton meter level. It's a pretty aggressive car, very heavy on force feedback, but very enjoyable, at least to myself. This will probably get us close to the 203. I'll do a couple of laps afterwards, which should get us into the mid 202s. And counter steering is effortless, very similar to the Ultimate. I'll let go of the steering wheel for a second so you can see the behavior. No oscillation, nice and stable. that section through the skyline and then into the dipper is always something different. Always another challenge every new lap. So there's a 202.5. Let's see if I can put 1 or 2 more laps in that sort of time together. And that one was at 202.8. Sorry, 202.2. Let's do one final lap. And there's a 202.3, so not too inconsistent. 3 laps with 0.2 seconds between them. Okay, I'll be back shortly with a summary. Gentlemen, okay, just while we're watching a replay of one of those laps, just a very quick summary. I have tested the Ultimate this last few months quite extensively, and it's a fantastic wheel. It's top of the range of the Granite Devices offerings from the Simucube 2 stable. So it's very nice wheel. It's geared towards the professional real-life race drivers with some special features like canvas interface. It does have a couple of additional filters over and above what this Simucube 2 Pro and Sport has. But with that said, if I had to buy a wheel, if I was a sim racer that was quite serious about my hobby or sport, whatever you want to call it, you want to have the ultimate immersion, but also the ultimate control over your car, force feedback, precision and reliability, I would say that this Pro wheel is the one that I would definitely buy. It offers 25 Newton meters of torque. It has almost all this similar filters to what you would find in the Ultimate Bar 2. And the feedback, consistency, the precision and the level is just out of this world. Other than the Ultimate, I would rate this as the best wheel available, and only reason why the Ultimate would be my choice would be because of the higher force feedback level, 32 Newton meters versus this 25. But for 99.9% of sim racers out there, if I could advise, this would be the one that I would pick. Rest assured, you will buy an absolute fantastic wheel if you go for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have fun. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me via iRacing or on the Granite Devices forums. Some of you have my WhatsApp number as well, so feel free to ask questions and I'll do my best to answer. You can also ask questions here on YouTube, of course, and yeah. For those waiting for their new Simucube 2 Pro and Sport wheels, guys, I think you're in for a fantastic time, so enjoy. Let's watch this last lap. You can sign off if you want, otherwise just enjoy the driving this last lap and then I'll sign off as well. See you later. Cheers.